So I was passing through and then I fell in love with the city. I'd worked with Fashion Revolution before in London, and then I watched the True Cost documentary and was completely blown away and touched and inspired, and it just created this huge impetus in me to create some change and look into what was going on in Vietnam. So my name is Ellen, and I'm country coordinator for Fashion Revolution Vietnam. Part of our team is built people from all over the world actually, and we have quite a close connection with various tailors and sustainable fashion brands and that kind of thing. So every year Fashion Revolution Week is during the week of the Rana Plaza collapse anniversary. So on the 24th of April 2013, that was when Rana Plaza factory, which is a big garment factory in Bangladesh, collapsed. There was a fire, and on the day workers were refusing to go in because they knew that the conditions were unsafe and that the building wasn't structurally sound, and they were forced to go inside. It was over 1,100 people, women and children mainly, died that day. And it was not the only incident, but it was the biggest incident yet, and it made the news. And it was one of those things that was something too big to ignore. So yes, that was why Fashion Revolution was set up, as a kind of positive reaction to how we can love fashion, but also make sure that it doesn't exploit people. It's to commemorate those deaths and deaths of other garment workers, and also inspire change during Fashion Revolution Week. The textile industry is obviously one of Vietnam's biggest exports. Most of the clothes go to America, and then second is to Europe and Japan. And while the conditions for garment workers aren't as bad as other countries in Southeast Asia, there are still significant problems and issues of transparency. Over 80% of workers are female. And yeah, it's a question of working overtime, not necessarily having access to toilets or breaks, that if they have a specific issue they can't raise their voices necessarily about it. So there is a degree of protection and the conditions are not as bad as in other countries, but at the same time it's in no way fair trade or completely ethical in terms of where they stand in the production line for companies. What makes Vietnam special for fashion right now is not the fact that a huge amount of clothes are exported to the West. It's the small scale stuff that you see every day on the street of people making shoes, and tailors who are, traditions that are passed on through generations, weaving, dyeing, especially in the mountains with ethnic minority tribes, like beautiful weaving and indigo dyeing. And so it's not just like anti-fast fashion, it's like pro-traditional things that are still every day on the street kind of thing. At the moment we're organising an exhibition at the Vietnamese Women's Museum. It's the 22nd of April, so Fashion Revolution Week, the global week, and it's going to be a week-long exhibition with a series of events and workshops. The main goal is to make people really question who made their clothes and where their clothes come from. So yeah, that's the title of the exhibition, Who Made My Clothes? We're going to have some interactive elements, so people will be encouraged to see themselves in the faces of garment workers and to really humanise the production line, so that it's something that people feel inspired to make a difference within. So then we've got another section which hopefully is a lot more positive, and we'll have 3 subjects from Hanoi: a designer, a tailor and a vintage shop owner, and each subject is like a symbol of locals who are making and producing locally and sourcing materials ethically, or producing in a more sustainable way. So it's right now feels like a really exciting time for Fashion Revolution to be running events, because while on one side consumerism is growing and demand for fast fashion is also growing, people are getting really into buying and fashion and trends and style. At the same time, there is more awareness coming about recycling and sustainability and kind of global issues. So these two worlds are colliding right now, and it's a really good time to start the conversation about the future of fast fashion, the future of the fashion industry, how we can make it more transparent and really get people to question who made their clothes. Yeah.